As somebody who has been inspired by the wealthy, I've often wondered if the wealthy or people who fall in the bracket of being a billionaire have time to slow down. Because billionaires usually are people who are building massive empires consistently with consistent amount of time, energy, effort, mental headspace, attention to create a global impact. And in doing so, could they be tending to their nervous system needs? Could they be able to slow down and adapt to a slower way of life? Today, we are going to talk about reasons why slow living and spending time with snails, yes, I said it, spending time with snails can support billionaires. First, let's talk about the word billionaire. I am somebody who has ambitious financial goals and hope to be a billionaire one day, and I know that there's a lot of fear and almost a feeling of repulsion when we think of billionaires, because we equate being a billionaire to being a bad person or a corrupt person. And I'd like to believe that it might not always be the case. Of course, there are people who are wealthy and not good people, but there are also people who are wealthy and look like you and me, like normal people, and you wouldn't see them in fancy cars or fancy homes, but still having a net worth of being a billionaire, but being also simple and living a life that's very real and very normal. So I'm talking about billionaires like that. And often billionaires are people who are highly intuitive. They would need to be people who think differently, who listen to themselves. And when they are expected to make multiple decisions in a day and listen to many people, it can happen that a lot of times they might feel challenged to listen to their inner voice, which is why I recommend slow living for them. Now here, I don't mean to slow down necessarily in regards to action taking, but I do mean to live in a way that supports our nervous system as just human beings. So what are some reasons, positive reasons that billionaires could think of to adapt slow living and time with snails? Number one, slow living can help billionaires make better decisions. When we are constantly feeding our mind with information, and when one is a billionaire, they're often exposed to different types of stimuli. It can be overwhelming. It can be jarring to our nervous system, feel like a shock sometimes. And living slowly can help a billionaire clear that clutter or give them the time and space to regulate their nervous system, make their nervous system feel safer to make better decisions, not pressured to make a decision. So if you are a billionaire or somebody who's massively wealthy, spend time in nature. Spend time with snails, because a snail can help you slow down. Just watch a snail move, crawl. Your nervous system will automatically feel like it's soothing and it's slowing down. Your thoughts are slowing down. And I'm saying this with experience. I, as a highly sensitive person, have spent months with snails, just observing them, allowing them to crawl on my hands. And what it did to me was really touched my heart, but also allowed the overstimulated mind of mine to soothe, to get back to its original quality of thought. Wouldn't you want that? Slow living can also help billionaires love themselves more. Now, as a billionaire, I imagine one would have to think more about others and less about themselves. I know when I say billionaire, most people would think that they're selfish. They're always thinking about money, about themselves. But actually, if you look at a billionaire, they're always having to think outward. How can this impact massive people, number of people, the crowds, the masses? You would have to put yourself in the shoes of a huge number of people who are not you. And that can make it possible for a billionaire to stop thinking about themselves, what they need. And self-love is needed by every single human being on this planet, regardless of who you are. And living slowly, especially in the presence of a snail, could help us think about ourselves. When we slow down, the presence of a snail, we are present. Our attention is not divided. Our focus is at rejuvenation, giving our headspace a break, allowing the energy of a snail to soothe us, to slow us down, to absorb the shocks probably a day-to-day life gives us. And isn't that self-love? To allow that to happen. And when we spend time with snails, we become children. Our inner child comes out. So no matter what age you're of, spending time with a snail helps us connect with our real selves. The child in us that we've forgotten. We've thought our childhood is over, but no, not really. And it helps to listen to our inner child from time to time to make better decisions. Who knows? You can make a decision that positively impacts your billion-dollar deal. Another reason slow living can help billionaires is that slow living can help regulate our nervous system, our emotions, and our energy levels. When we are in a position of high decision making, consistent, fast decision making for multiple businesses, we can often find ourselves moving a lot, mentally especially, emotionally, energetically. And that can really impact us as human beings. Maybe not at first, but eventually there could come a point where a billionaire would feel like, I need to rest. My nervous system needs to rest, and snail time and slow living can provide that rest for you. Because when you're with a snail, there is no pressure of acting quickly, making decisions that impact humans at a global scale. There's no pressure of doing or of having to hold a feeling of responsibility. Rather, it's beautiful of a experience to spend time with snails, because it opens our minds and hearts to receiving energetically from snails. And when I say this, I mean that snails can directly impact our energy field. If you ever watch a snail crawl, and if you watch and observe what it does to your energy field, you'll realize that your energy field is actually slowing down. It's getting more present. Your emotions are often impacted by a snail as well. When you hold a snail in your hands and you allow it to crawl, you can feel the affection of the snail. And that can often touch our hearts, and it has happened with me. On my birthday, here's an example from a real life example, something that happened to me a year and a half ago. On my birthday, I went and picked up a snail, and I asked the snail to wish me happy birthday. And it crawled around my hand and held on to my thumb and gave me an emotion of affection. Isn't that beautiful what a snail can do? And I feel that billionaires are often in position of criticism, external and internal, and it's not possible for them to find a human being every single time to assure them that they're doing the right thing, that they deserve love and affection. But imagine you walk into a garden and find a snail and actually spend time with it. Not only will it impact your energy field, but also make you feel loved. So those are my reasonings as to why, as billionaires and wealthy people, one must adapt to slow living and snail time. If you'd like to know more about how slow living and snail time impacts sensitive people, highly sensitive people, just people in general, do check out my blog, www.murrayspace.com. And you can also, if you're somebody who's psychic, who's highly sensitive and has gifts of telepathy, animal communication, you can also connect to snails as your guides, as your snail guides. I have a few of them, and it's always a gift to receive from them because they've taught me so much about my life. And if you would like to know how to channel snail guides, you can get in touch with me. Or you need tips for slow living as a sensitive or highly sensitive person, please feel free to book an appointment with me using the link in my YouTube channel bio. I'd love to have a chat with you. Now, you must be wondering, who's this person I'm listening to for so long? Well, first of all, thanks for listening to me for so long. And secondly, my name is Pranita Rao. I am a former dentist, a published science author, an intuitive abstract artist, an energy worker, a Reiki healer, and a coach for sensitive and highly sensitive people around the world. If you resonated with this video, I assume that you're somebody who has ambitious financial goals or are a billionaire. I'd love for you to comment and share your story as to what was your takeaway from this video. And if you are somebody who would like to share a story about how you lived slowly, even if it was for a moment, just observed something in your life and it helped shift something in your life. You were just holding a cup of warm tea and that became a slow moment for you. and it helped you to recover from something traumatic, something that was distracting you. Or you were in nature with a tree, with a plant, with an animal, not just a snail or a snail, and you felt loved, seen, heard, or it helped you make a better decision and gave you results. Lastly, I would greatly appreciate it if you like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more educational content. Before I say goodbye, I'd like to share that this video is a dedication to two of my friends, Billy and Musk, who have been exceptionally helpful for me to talk about snails, learn about snails, and also adapt to a smarter and a slower way of living. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a great day ahead and you go crack some $1 billion deals. Bye.